Hi, this is Carala at C.Ficklin.com, WelcomeNetwork.com, iStudyGuides.com, Explain.com, ASKPLAIN.com, Explain.com. Once again, I'm talking from my book, Understanding and Speaking Metaphoric English, or Speaking English Metaphorically. Just, you'll see the book, no problem. This time, before I was talking about the verb to be, but this time I'm going to look at the verb, another extremely important verb that has a whole bunch of different meanings. And I think I'm going to dedicate this video to looking at all the different meanings of the verb to get. Do you understand all the meanings of the verb to get? If I say, I don't get you. Okay, I don't get you. Or, what did you get? Or, get out of here. Or, get down, get down. That's all the verb to get. But if you were translating, let's say from English to Spanish, or English to Chinese, or English to Arabic, or to English to Fulani, or English to Swahili, those expressions would be translated with different verbs. They would not be translated with the verb to get. So let's look at some of the meanings of the verb to get. I'm going to give you the sentence, and let's see if you can figure out what the verb means. If I say to you, I'm going to get my book. It's on the teacher's desk. What does to get mean there? Versus, he gets about $1,000 a month. Now, both of the verbs in this sentence is the verb to get. But obviously, if I were to translate those sentences, I would not use the same verb. So, to get, when I say, I'm going to get my book, it's on the teacher's desk, the way I have it is I have first the verb to get. And then I'll give you synonyms. Now remember, you have to be careful with synonyms. Sometimes they mean the same things, and sometimes they don't, depending on context. But if I were to say to you, I'm going to get my book, it's on the teacher's desk, in this respect, to get means to obtain, to acquire. All right, I'm going to get, I'm going to obtain, okay? I'm going to, in a sense, to look for my book, because there it is, and get it, all right? But most people wouldn't use the word to acquire or to obtain. They would use the verb to get, because the verb is used a lot in English, a lot. If I say to you, he gets about $1,000 a month, another way to say that would be, he earns, he brings home. Or if you're at work and you would say, well, I take home about $1,000 a month, or I get $1,000. You can even say, I pocket $1,000. That's more slang, though. All right. If I said, give you two more sentences, the police finally got him. They got him. Or, I have never been able to get math. Now, obviously, I'm using the verb to get, but obviously, I'm not saying the same thing. Correct? So, if I say the police finally got him, another way to say that would be the police finally captured him, they seized him, they grabbed him, or they collared him. Collared is a little bit more slang, a little bit more idiomatic. If I don't have a shirt on, but when you have a shirt, that's the collar right there. So, if the police finally got him, they captured him. Versus if I say to you, I have never been able to get math, I'm not talking about grab or seize or collar. I'm talking about to understand, to comprehend. Let me get, to digest, to learn, to catch on to. Catch on to is a little bit more idiomatic or slang, but to understand. So I don't get math. I don't understand math. Let me give you a little bit more. Because of the language barrier, I didn't get what he said. Because of the language barrier, I didn't get what he said. There, I'm using, we don't speak the same language. He speaks Chinese or Japanese or Taiwanese. Excuse me. Was I getting ready to say Taiwanese? Excuse me. I'm very sorry. That shows my ignorance. Or he speaks Thai, or he speaks Swahili. All right, or he speaks French or Spanish. Right, and I speak English, or I speak Spanish, or I speak French, or I speak another language, and I say, well, because of that language barrier, you know, one language versus another, I didn't get what he said. I didn't understand. I couldn't comprehend. Now I'm giving you some other expressions that are a little bit more slang or idiomatic. I couldn't make out what he was saying. I couldn't decipher. To decipher, usually you use when you have code and you can't decipher the code. You can't figure out the patterns, right? Or here's an expression that's used a lot. I couldn't make heads or tails of what he said. To make heads or tails of. So when I give you a verb and then I give you meanings, I don't only give you standard meanings, I also give you other idiomatic, slang, or informal meanings, because you have to learn those so you can learn it all at once. Okay. I have every intention to get him for what he did to my family. I'm going to, there was a, what was it? It was, I think it was Edward G. Robertson that says, I'm going to get you, sucker. You know, those are old 1930s, maybe even late 1920 movies that you can see at late night TV. And then says, I'm going to get you, sucker. But here's the sentence. I have every intention to get him for what he did to my family. All right? Now, I'm not talking about to understand him, to decipher what he's saying. Or, were you able to get John? Were you able to get John? I'm getting worried. I'm getting worried about him. But the get that I'm talking about here is to get John. I'll talk about I'm getting worried about him also. So here it is. I have every intention to get him for what he did to my family. Were you able to get John? I'm getting worried about him. Here, the first sentence about every intention to get someone for what they did to my family, or for what that person did to my family, means to take revenge, to make someone pay, or to get someone back for what they did. To take revenge, to avenge someone, okay, to make someone pay for what they did. Were you able to get John means, were you able to communicate with John on the telephone? I couldn't get him. I couldn't communicate with him. Okay, to communicate or talk with, to contact, to reach. Let me see if I can give you one more sentence before the time is up. They're not going to wait anymore. They're going to get her. Okay? Let's say the police, let's say you've been kidnapped or someone's been kidnapped, and they say, I'm going to get her. The police are going to get her. They know where you are. They're going to recover or to regain. All right, well, time is up again, and I haven't even gotten through all the different meanings of to get. So come to the website, C.Ficklin.com, and maybe you can check out all the different things that we have available, all the different expressions, especially all the different expressions that we have available to get. I have a little bit more time. Let me give you a couple things, sentences, and then you can decide. He'll be back. He went to get something to eat. She couldn't come because she got a cold. I can't eat that. I don't want to get fat. Okay, so you see to get in 3 other sentences. They all mean 3 very different things. C.Ficklin at C.Ficklin.com.